guys, welcome back to the channel. The more and more we use Livescope, the more we have to look for ways to use it in unconventional ways. For example, I was fishing on a lake today, frog fishing, and the grass was matted out almost to the surface. And we had a thermocline about 6 or 7 feet. It made it almost impossible to use any baits really, except like frogs and that type of deal. Now, so what I was doing was, this was matted out. So what I was using the Livescope was, I was using perspective mode to see some of the underwater holes that I couldn't see with my eyes. You know, these little holes in the mats that are just below the surface, sometimes when you can't see them. And so what I was using is that Livescope, that perspective mode, to find these little holes. And then that way I could get to work my frog through these areas. And when I would get to these holes, I would slow it down. And that's where I was getting all my bites. There was a lot of cypress trees. Very few of the bites came on the cypress trees. They came on the holes in the grass, but I could not see these holes. These holes would be just out in the middle of openings, away from the trees or whatever. But let's take a look at some of that footage, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, and then maybe that will help you. I could have thrown other topwaters, but I was using a frog in this instance because I was working around trees. But this is a great time to throw like a topwater walk-in or a whopper plopper. But when you get to these holes, that's when you can really know that these bites are coming. So I was really starting to target these holes. So let's look at it right now. Okay, guys, real quick, what you see is cannot unlock maps. That pops up a lot when you don't have any maps purchased. But what I want to show you in this particular deal is, you see all these different cypress trees, and what you see in front of them, it looks like bait fish, but that is submerged patches of grass. And you'll see the one right at the zero, about 20 foot out. You see that hole right in the middle of it. That's what I was concentrating on, finding these submerged patches of grass with holes inside of them. Now, as we're coming up on the top right hand of the screen from about 0 out to 35, you'll see underwater grass patches, but there's nothing that defines them. And what I'm looking for is those holes that fish can ambush. Now, if you look at about 20 feet there to the right, you'll see a huge hole right on the edge of that grass. That's what I'm looking for. Those areas that fish can ambush the fish and ambush the bait fish and frogs or whatever it is out there. And that is what I use perspective mode when I'm fishing in very shallow water for. See, guys, I hope that can help you have another technique for using your perspective mode. It wasn't about seeing the fish. It was using this more as a traditional type fish finder, almost like using the side imaging in motion, looking for those particular holes in the grass. That way I could target them and be a little bit more efficient, making less casts, but casts that had a better opportunity at catching fish. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Ring the bell.